Today I wanted to talk about something that I have alluded to a lot, but not really fully gone into yet, and that is the power of automatic writing. And I've actually, over the years, developed this process combined with dream journaling, which is something I've done since I was in my early 20s. So together, these two things are really powerful. And all it really is tuning into your heart and asking yourself questions. And you will be so amazed if you start this process, the wisdom and guidance and support and immense love that comes through. So all you need to do this is the intention to be open to receive, the knowing that everybody is capable of doing this. This is essentially channeling your inner wisdom, your higher self, your, whatever your belief system supports, whether that's spirit guides or angels, whatever aligns with your belief system. The important part is that your intention is that you are moving into your heart and you're calling in the highest wisdom and guidance from love, from only those beings who are of the highest love and light, who have your highest interests at heart. And when you have this intention, it's sort of like, you are putting up your antenna to only receive information, guidance, and wisdom that is of love, that is in your highest good. If you imagine that a TV has, numerous stations and you can't watch them all at once. So you tune into the one that you want to watch. And it's the same thing. You're kind of like an antenna that you are aligning with what you are open to receive. I feel like the best way to start this is really to tune into your soul, your higher self, because that is you. That is you, the part of you that can see beyond this human experience, the part of you that has always remained in connection with all that is, that can see the bigger picture, that knows what you came here to experience and fulfill and learn, and how you wanted to expand and grow. So when you tune into this higher intelligence within you, this divine aspect that is you, you are going to receive the clarity and the illumination of your highest path forward. In most of our human experience, we've been taught to use our mind, and the mind is only capable of coming up with things that it has either experienced in the past or read about or seen from other people, but it's a very limited scope of possibilities. Whereas when you tune in through your portal of your heart, which is basically the access point to infinite intelligence, to your higher self, to the part of you that's connected, right, to your higher wisdom, when you tune in to that part of you, you become an open channel to receive divine guidance from the perspective of your higher self, who knows everything about you, past, present, future, everything. There's nothing you have to explain. This is you. This is the part of you that is connected with all that is. This part of you knows everything about you, knows what's in your highest good and what you need. So you can trust what comes through when you connect in this way. And one way that you know that you are connected to infinite intelligence, to your higher wisdom, and not to your ego or some lower frequency energy, is that the messages will always be loving, supportive. They will always be encouraging, and your higher wisdom, your guides, your angels, the beings on the other side who are assisting you are never going to violate your free will. They're never going to tell you what you should do. They will answer your questions. If you ask if something is in your highest good, they will nudge you in the right direction. They will illuminate things through excitement that are on your highest path. But they're never going to tell you to do anything, because this is your life. This is your experience. You have free will, and there's a deep honoring of that boundary. So they're never going to say anything that is judgmental. Your higher self, your spirit guides, the team on the other side that is supporting you and watching you, they are your biggest cheerleaders. They think you are brave and amazing for being here in this human experience, in this density. And they do not judge us the way that we judge ourselves. That's a very human thing that comes from our ego. And from the other side, everything is seen as expansion. So what I like to do in the morning is I keep a journal, and I used to get really fancy journals that I loved, and they'd be hardcover. And I'll be honest, over the years, I've come to really like the softcover ones because they're easier to open and write on both sides. And I don't try to keep it neat. In fact, it's impossible, because when you tune into your inner wisdom, when you're really connected and what's coming through, it comes so quickly that usually you can't even read your handwriting. So you're going to have your journal, and you are just going to take a moment to center yourself, to breathe into your heart. I like to take a few deep breaths. I like to put my hand on my heart because that is very grounding and brings me into the present moment and really connects me with my inner wisdom. And I just focus there, and I feel my body settle, and I come into that peaceful place. And then I invite in those beings of the highest love and light, or you could say my higher self. This is what I say. I say, thank you, higher self, spirit guides of highest love and light, including the angels and archangels and ascended masters and spirit animals and ancestors who are here for my highest good. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance and love and support. I am open to receive all that is for my highest good at this time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's often what I will either write down or say out loud. And then I just write, what is it that I can either say you, speaking to my team, which oftentimes in spirit, everyone speaks as a collective. I've learned over time to really let go of who's coming through and just feel this loving energy, and receive what they're bringing through, rather than getting caught up in the details of who it is, because it's not really like that in spirit on the other side. Everything is one. So I will ask, what is it that my soul most wants me to know at this time? And then I just let whatever wants to come through, come through. And most often it will be a message of love is the first message. I mean, almost every day we want you to know how loved and cherished and honored you are. And it's, it's funny because I used to kind of like almost roll my eyes at these messages like, yeah. Actually at first it was so loving that I thought that I was just making this up and I don't know, just doing this from my imagination. I just didn't really take it seriously. And now I understand it's sort of like you're bringing through this energy, and this energy is getting translated into words through your own vocabulary, through the words and the understanding that you have. They are using that to translate this energy. So then I will often ask, what is the second most important message that my spirit team, higher self, soul would love for me to receive at this time? And this is when I usually get very clear guidance on something that is going on in my life, some sort of nudge to, for me, it's often about allowing myself to be seen and heard in this way that I'm doing right now. That's been one of my big themes in my life, is having been very shy as a child and moving a lot. yeah, there was a lot of hiding. And so allowing myself to express my authentic truth in this way on video publicly was something that took me many, many, many years to be able to even consider doing. And so, there's always more expansion. And so I get gently nudged in that direction to be seen and heard. And also a big one that comes through almost daily is when I ask, what is my next best step? It is almost always joy, have more fun, play more, be more free, because when we allow ourselves to play, we are connecting, we are aligning with our natural state. Our essence is playful and joyful and free and expansive, and we get bogged down with all of these beliefs that we have that we need to stay safe and stay small, and all of the ways that we confine ourselves in life, right? And so when we're able to, even no matter how busy we are, because oftentimes I'm like, really, how do I do that with everything going on? But it's finding those little moments in life, even if it's literally just sitting down and having a cup of tea in the midst of a very busy day, and just really, really savoring it, like really being present and really taking in the beauty around me and really breathing in the scents, and just a few moments of presence here and there go a long way. And what that does is it raises our frequency. And when our frequency is higher, that is when doors open. It's like we can see things that we couldn't see before, literally. Like, that's how reality works, and it's kind of hard for us to understand. But things open up when we raise our frequency. We have access to more opportunities, and we're in the flow, and so we get these inspirations about where to go and what to do. So that's a lot of what comes through, is play more, have more fun, let yourself be free. And so, you can also ask very specific questions, like if I am having a physical challenge, I will often write, like, what is the root cause of my persistent foot pain? And a lot of times it will come through that there's something going on with my inner child, or some belief that I have that is creating this physical experience to get my attention, so that I will look deeper into that. The physical body, there's like some books out there, like The Body Knows the Score, and Louise Hay has a book, I Can Heal My Life. I think that's what it's called. But there are books out there that that really show how things began on an energetic level, and they eventually make their way into a physical level when we haven't paid attention to them or been aware of them. And once it's on a physical level, yes, there is a physical challenge that sometimes we have to deal with in a medical way, but the root cause of it is energetic, is emotional. It can often be something that we, some trauma, or, some emotion that we have squished down and not paid attention to, and it lives somewhere in our body and then creates a physical sensation. And these books have done a great job of sort of illustrating how pains in different parts of the body can actually help you to identify what might be going on a spiritual or emotional level that is wanting your love and attention. So like sometimes back pain can indicate that there's a part of you that isn't feeling supported, or neck pain can, I'm not saying this is always the case, but it can indicate that, maybe there's somewhere in life or in your perspective that you're not being flexible. Or foot and knee pain, they're also all related to different chakras. So that's another clue. You can look into the chakras that are related and what those chakras are about, but like foot pain and knee pain can sometimes be related to the root chakra, which is about feeling safe in the world and feeling safe to move forward or to express yourself in the world. And the right side of the body is the masculine side. It's the side of taking action and moving forward, and the left side is the feminine side. So all of these become clues to help you understand what might be going on in your subconscious that is really just trying to get your attention for healing. So journaling is so powerful in this way because, and I call it journaling sometimes, but I'm really referring to automatic writing because it's really going in and allowing your divinity, your soul, your higher self, your team to speak to you. And we are channeling all the time, we just don't realize it. But this is so powerful for sort of healing the body, for receiving guidance on any challenges that you're facing in life, receiving clarity, and for dream work. It is really, really, really helpful. I have always been fascinated with the dream world. I've always remembered a lot of my dreams. I mean, not all the time, I go through phases. But there will be times where I have super vivid dreams that I remember, and I know that there are messages within them. And this could be a whole other video because I love talking about dreams. But I use this process to figure out what my dreams are trying to tell me, what they're reflecting back to me. So basically what I do is I come down in the morning, I center, I take a few deep breaths, I light a candle sometimes I don't even do that, but some people love ritual, so you can actually set up a very sacred space for this if you want to, if that helps you to get into this space where you feel like you can better connect. There's a book I can recommend, it's called Awe, A-W-E, by Michael Sandler, and it's the automatic writing experience. And in Michael's book, he really lays out, he has a lot of things that he does to help him to get into that mindset. For me, it's very simple. I do come every morning, or not every morning, I come whenever I am able, around the same time in the morning. This is definitely harder in the summer, but I tend to sit in the same spot on the couch downstairs by myself. I light a candle sometimes. If I don't have one, I don't even bother. But the most important part is I center, I ground, I get into my heart. I have my journal in my lap. Sometimes if I'm lucky, my cat is next to me. And I just start asking my questions. I mean, before I ask any hard questions though, and when I say hard questions, I mean that sometimes we block ourselves if we care a lot about the answer. And so I'll ask very general questions to begin, just to kind of get things flowing. And when I know I have that connection, then sometimes I'll just go into asking something that's a little bit more emotionally charged. And I will tell you that sometimes those things are very hard to get answers for yourself on, especially in the beginning, because it's really hard for the mind not to interfere and want to direct what comes through. And it's also very challenging not to doubt yourself. And that is one other piece that I want to address here is I can almost guarantee everybody I know who does this, in the beginning, you think that you are just making all of this up. And sometimes in the beginning, you don't get anything, like you get nothing, right? And if you can accept that if somebody else can do this, we are all created equal, all human beings, we all have the same access to our inner divine, to all that is, to source. Now, we are all designed a little bit differently, right? We all receive energy uniquely. So the way that I receive energy is most likely going to be different than the way that you or anybody else does. But as long as you don't put any conditions on how it's supposed to come through to you, and you just trust that you can connect with your spirit, with your soul, with your higher self, with your team. And it's just going to be a matter of showing up every day, preferably at the same time, because that's really going to help to get it flowing. Try to take the pressure off. Try to just take those deep breaths and get into that relaxed space, and just be okay with, you know what, if gibberish comes through, that is fine, because that might happen for a while. If nothing's coming through, just write stream of consciousness. Anything that comes to mind. Doesn't need to be complete sentences. Things don't need to be spelled right. You don't need to have periods. Just try to practice sitting and opening and receiving. And eventually, you're going to start to get things that actually make sense, that actually read. And it might not be until you go and read back what you've written the previous day that you start to notice, oh, you know what, there might actually be something there. Because that happened to me for a while. I was just not believing any of it. I was like, I am making all of this up. This is, this is just my ego or my imagination. I'm making it all up. But later, when I went back and read it, I realized that, yes, you can almost tell where the mind jumps in and starts to interfere and where you're analyzing. But there was a lot in there that really felt resonant. And just trust the process, trust the unfolding. The more you can relax and let it, if you have to fill up a notebook with gibberish, all right, so you get that out of the way. And maybe your next one is where you're going to start to be able to really allow it to come through. So there's no pressure, right? It's just you and whoever else you want to invite in. And you are really just tuning into your inner wisdom. So if you're somebody who is interested in remembering your dreams and accessing the messages and information that is available to you through your dreams, I highly recommend writing those down first. Like as soon as you wake up and sit down with your journal, or even if you keep your journal by your bed, especially in the beginning of dream recording, that's really helpful because they can just disappear so quickly. But write down as soon as you're able everything you can remember about your dreams, especially how you felt about what was happening. That's usually the most important part. And remember that your subconscious uses symbols to relay energy, information, and ideas to your human mind. It's like speaking through symbols. Sometimes our fearful filter will misinterpret things as some sort of negative meaning when actually it isn't. So anyways, that's a whole other video that I could get into about nightmares and decoding dreams. But for now, I just love to say that you can write down your dreams, and then I ask right away questions about the dreams to get that information first. And then when I'm done with that, then I just go into what is it that my soul or higher self most wants me to know at this time. You can ask, what is it that my body most wants me to know at this time? But again, I would do soul or higher self or spirit team or whatever resonates with you. What does the universe want me to know? What does source want me to know? Whatever feels resonant for you, ask that first more general question and see what comes through. Once that gets flowing, then you can start, asking about your body. You could talk to your hand. You could talk to, like, truly everything has its own intelligence. You can literally speak to a situation in your life. You can speak to the higher selves of people in your life. You can speak to, I'll have animals sometimes come through in my dreams, and I'll just start speaking to the animals in my journaling and ask them what messages they have for me. So it's endless. So I hope this has been helpful in getting you started with automatic writing in the morning and tuning into your soul and your inner wisdom. And I would love to hear if you do this. I would love to know how it goes. I would love to answer your questions. And because this is something I'm so passionate about, if you have interest in working with me on this or learning more, please do let me know, because I am thinking about creating a course or a particular weekly call where this is something that we dive deeply into together. So I would just love to hear your feedback if that's something that you are interested in. So thanks so much for being here, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.